Ena Mulavdić is more than a designer. She is a storyteller. Alongside her husband and creative partner, Ibrahim Mohammadian, she co-founded Elird, a jewelry brand where every piece is a reflection of individuality, a fusion of art, heritage, and spirit. Their journeys to this craft were shaped by vastly different educational and life paths, and yet in their work they meet, melding tradition with innovation and structure with intuition. For Ena, each piece is not just an object, but a personal journey, a singular expression of the wearer's story. In a world where AI is rapidly evolving, she continues to shape with human hands, infusing her creations with something no machine can replicate: soul. This is her story.
So welcome, Ena, to this evening's podcast. I'm really grateful for you for finding the time to come and join us tonight. There's a lot of topics I'd like to discuss with you because you cover such a large range of things that interest me, whether it's education, creativity, craftsmanship, entrepreneurship, working in a family, all those things, motherhood. We could go on a lot of topics. But let's start with your company, Elird, your brand, who makes, you design these incredibly beautiful jewels that are all handcrafted. Each piece is unique. And so it's a project, and it's a brand that you set up with your husband, so your life partners and work partners. And could you tell me a little bit more about how that works? You know, how you meet creatively in your work, and how your relationship maybe nurtures what you do together?
Yes, certainly. First of all, thank you so much for inviting me to your podcast. I'm so grateful. It's such a privilege to be here and to speak with you, as I appreciate so much everything that you do in your life. I'm Ena Mulavdić, and I'm a creator and designer of jewelry brand Elird that I created together with my husband. Actually, we started our brand in 2016 in Istanbul while I was still studying my master's degree in industrial design. And at that time, my friend Ibrahim, at that time, he was a sculptor and a painter with such an amazing potential that really caught my eye, and I was so mesmerized by all of his art and all of his artistic skills. But besides that, his approach and the value that he carries and that he puts while doing his arts were incredibly interesting for me. So I was sure that I have to meet that person really better. So that's how we started our friendship. And then eventually we decided to also get married and to move to Sarajevo, which is my hometown. Sarajevo is actually the place where we started to work on our brand more seriously. Since in Istanbul it was a home studio, we were sharing just one table, so that's how we started basically. And right now,
you often talk about the fact that something that really attracted him to you was all his internal world, and how all his creativity came from something very, very personal and deep inside.
Yes, exactly. I mean, that's something that I haven't seen anywhere else. So when I first met him, both me and him realized that, you know, that's a kind of a soul that you meet, and that's the kindred soul or something like that, you know. So we felt that connection, and firstly we were really great friends, and that's how it is still today. So everything is based on that mutual friendship and sharing these values. So in the same time, I saw the potential in him to see him as a teacher, and also he sees me the same way. So we are kind of growing together, which is, I think, such a valuable experience to have a husband who is growing together.
It's a partnership. It's a partnership that actually, it's my own husband who sent me this beautiful quote today that's saying that the relationships that are beautiful are those where you sculpt each other.
Yes.
And I find that a beautiful way of saying things. I don't know if you relate, if that's what you're expressing.
That's definitely what I wanted to say. And that's definitely that we have in this relationship. And I feel very blessed to have that kind of person near me to build not only our business and brand together, but also to have a family with. And I also think that is the right way to choose your partner in life, to choose someone who will make you grow.
So how does it actually work? So you're growing together and you're bringing something to this brand that is so unique, and you each bring different skills. Is everything discussed together? Do you share, do you say, okay, this is where you're more comfortable and where he will follow your lead, and then there are places where you will follow his lead? Or is it very organic? Is it very structured? How do you want to share a little bit more about how you work together?
Somehow we are inseparable, so we have to work together to be Elird.
Okay.
But in the same time, as I said, he has amazing skills regarding the art in artistic fields. Which is something that could be seen as a Renaissance man, so really different kind of things. And firstly, I wanted to learn those skills from him when I met him. And actually, this is how we started to work together, because I was studying product and industrial design, so this is quite different than art. It has some different couple of skills that you need to have. And I wanted to learn more about jewelry, and I asked Ibrahim if you could teach me something. So he said yes, and that's actually where we saw that we are working quite good together.
There's something very interesting in actually, and there's so many layers to your story, and I'm really inspired by it. As you know, I'm an educator, and I'm also really interested in the path you both went to get to there. And so you've just talked about having met him when you were studying industrial design, but you've explained to me that in terms of your educational path, you went through very different schools and systems, and you tried different things before you decided to study what you did last. And even that, it took that to get you to do what you do today, which is where you found yourself in a way. And your husband has a very different path. He chose so your path is not very typical, but you went through, institutions and universities, and he chose the path of the apprentice, the apprentice to the master, finding new masters every time to learn new skills. I find that fascinating, and I imagine that also brings very different things to the relationship and to the craft and the beautiful jewelry you make. Yeah? Do you want to share a bit more about that? Yeah.
His path in his education was very also interesting for me.
Yeah.
Because I'm raised in this traditional education system where you have to somehow finish the university, you have to go to reach these degrees and everything, which is quite fine. I gained so many experience that way. But when I see Ibrahim and his experience, I can say that he has a lot of hands-on experience. More live experience in that field, which is very interesting for me as someone who was learning a lot of things just from the books, not trying to work with the hands. And that was very, very inspiring for me to witness his path, which has also become part of myself. So that combination, I'm sure he also took something from me.
Of course.
So that combination of these different, really different paths, different approaches to education is also something that gives this, our mixture something really exotic and nice, because we take the best from both worlds.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so
I find it really interesting also that you've had such different paths, because it just shows, I mean, from what I've understood is Ibrahim knew forever what he wanted to do, and what he did was just learn and go towards where, but he had and you, as many other people, were thinking, you know, I can do lots of things, I can learn, I'm good at learning, but where will I find, you know, where will I stop and find my place in that? And it's interesting because I've seen that a lot, you know, it's either people really know and what they love and what they're passionate about, and from a very young age, interestingly, but the vast majority of people don't necessarily, and so they go about, you know, and they get lucky and they finally discover it one day, or they just, you know, so it's interesting because all those things are journeys in themselves, and the educational system is so set, and there's, you know, it seems to have such clear pathways, and actually if you listen to people's stories, it's not, it's a journey of discovery in itself. Yes. So it's really interesting what you say, and the hands-on learning is also a very interesting aspect for me, because I think it really is lacking in all types of education.
I'm not sure, I mean, I've always had that freedom in my family to choose the path that I want. But I'm not sure whether was it educational system where, since I was good at a lot of subjects, I could learn everything. So it was kind of situation where you feel I can do a lot of things that are good, so I will eventually one day choose something from all of these things, something that is more the best for me, the best for my future, etc. But Ibrahim's approach was, at the young age, he knew he liked sculpture. Sculpture is his favorite thing in the world. And he, when we say doing something with love, it's actually doing it without looking to any obstacles and challenges, just doing it and going through all of the obstacles in life that you have, but slowly doing what you want. So I think the traditional education system doesn't approve this kind of a path. So you have the ability to try everything a bit, but you don't go into the depths. So, but in any case, this is my way, and I also find solution for myself, and that's his. So we have different examples to learn from each other.
Absolutely, which is very interesting. I know that there's a lot of inspiration that goes into your jewels. Every piece is unique. Sometimes it's bespoke jewelry, so sometimes you even add a layer of designing something specifically for somebody with in mind, whatever that person may bring as a request or as something personal. So they're very specific. They are sculptures in themselves. And I know that there's you talked about values, shared values with your husband, and I know there is I wanted to know what was the place of spirituality in your jewels, how that nurtures your work together.
That's actually a very important topic. It's important as a philosophy for our jewelry, since we see our jewelry as a mirror that is calling for a self-reflection. So in that way, we somehow can't make any mass-produced jewelry, because every piece of jewelry has to be related to someone, you know. So it carries that connection that we have with different people that are called customers, but they're really not customers. They are usually, they become our friends, or they are friends, because that's really a different kind of relation.
I understand.
That we have with those people. And I'm incredibly grateful that through this job we had this opportunity to meet so many incredible human beings. This is why we always strive for that honest communication with people when they come to our studio, to see how they really feel, how was their day, to really just to ask them honestly, to speak, even if they don't buy anything, it doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is this honest approach and honest communication, and I'm sure no kind of marketing strategy could bring the right people to our studio as this approach.
So it's really co-creation. It's co-creation between you and the people who push the door of your studio.
Yes, definitely it is. I mean, it's an energy that you share with those people when you're working with the material. There is this part of consciousness that you're actually, we always strive to make the best version of ourselves, because this is a huge responsibility to give someone something that a jewelry is wearable, so someone will wear it every day, so it really has to carry that good energy. So first thing is to get to know ourselves, and then also to use that jewelry for other people to use it as a mirror to see within their self, because we are sure that any kind of person in this world has a secret garden hidden within us that needs to be discovered. So that's the whole point of why we are working this type of jewelry, to show people that there is something within us that has to be discovered, that is really valuable. So this is this part of spirituality that we have in our jewelry, and that is carrying the whole concept of our
basically
studio.
It's an offering of practically a new friend in your life that will accompany you every day. And
yes, this is why we almost always stay somehow connected with the people that are wearing our jewelry. Also, especially important persons are those who choose our jewelry as a wedding rings, because that's a really special bond.
Of course.
And we really enjoy doing this. We have never chosen to do this kind of job. I was never imagining that I will be a jewelry designer, nor Ibrahim was imagining that he will do this kind of job in his life, but this is kind of a mission for us. It's something that we have to do. You know, we also don't, I mean, ironically, we don't wear that much jewelry as well.
I know.
Yeah, we love to make it, to collect it, and to share it with others. Yeah.
I just want to take you back a little bit. I'd like to continue actually on the craft itself, but I would like to take you back a little bit on the subject of education. So after law school and industrial design, and I know you did a research master's in classroom design. Is that correct?
Actually, playground areas.
Playground, okay. Okay.
Yes,
So
yes.
Outdoor areas.
Outdoor, yes.
Okay. And you said you were very interested in that topic, and you learned a lot from it. Would you have anything to share with us about how you think we could maybe improve the traditional school areas, and whether, you know, the buildings or the outdoors, with this experience in mind?
Yes, I was doing my master's degree in industrial design, but I really wanted to choose the human-centered approach to industrial design. So that this is why I chose the topic of playground and exploring how designing the playground furniture could improve the development of the children. So basically, what is the conclusion from my master's degree is that using simple materials that could be found in our surroundings, making simple furniture that allows the open-ended play, that is not distracting or not defying how the children would play with it, gives the best opportunity for children development. So basically, the more simple it is, the better it is. And the things that I can see in our city here are totally opposite from that. There's a lot of plastic used, which is really unnecessary. This is also something that has a connection with vernacular design that I was also interested in. It's a design done without a designer. So every human being is a designer, so could make something. So I was very interested in some toys that were made in villages by some women who were making them. Which is the simplicity of it. It's really interesting and in opposition to some solutions that are seen today.
Well, it takes us back, if I understand correctly, it does take us back to how connected we are with our environment and nature. And using the resources that are around us, and depending on where you live, and you have so much in your surrounding that you can use and transform in a very simple way. And you see that with children every day. If you set children free in a forest, in a garden, everything becomes an opportunity to play and to discover and to imagine and develop. So it's somehow we as adults we've forgotten that.
Exactly. I mean, playgrounds are in urban surroundings, but they should somehow mimic the forest, as you said, because in the forest you have that freedom. You can explore, you can see so many things. So it's just returning to the basics.
Montessori had an example, many of them, but where she, after setting up her environment, which is even indoors, founded on those same principles, she placed a basket full of beautiful toys, very beautiful, even wooden toys and everything. And the children had no interest in the toys at all because they were so engaged with these other things. And I see it every day in the school. They pick up stones, they pick up all sorts of branches and leaves, and they're treasures for them, and they make all sorts of things out of them. And, a rock becomes a mountain they have to climb. And so, yes.
It's really great for imagination.
Absolutely. So, and it's very grounded in reality.
Yeah.
And it keeps them connected to their environment, which is so important in today's world. That we don't disconnect from where we come from, basically.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you for that. So actually now I know that you are a woman and with your husband a partner of many, many projects, and that one of the dreams you have right now, apart from continuing to offer these beautiful pieces of jewelry to people, is to create an educational program to be able to share your knowledge and your craft. Would you like to share a little bit more about that?
Yes, of course. Well, my husband has over 20 years of experience in various artistic fields. I have some experience in product industrial design. I'm also studying to become a gemologist. So we decided that actually we believe that sharing knowledge is an amazing thing. I mean, it's a starting point for growth, both for student and for a teacher as well. We also had a few apprentices at our studio, and it's really rewarding to see them working on their own projects, which we had some of them are working on their own jewelry, or they're working with some other brands as a designers. And that is incredibly rewarding to witness their success, So we really want to share all of our knowledge with the students, and we are dreaming about starting a school or a courses in jewelry that will focus on the hands-on experience. So someone who attends those courses will be able to produce what they have in their mind. Okay. And also they will be able to train their imagination to produce valuable projects as well. Also, the goal is to, through this, through learning the techniques on these courses, we want to also teach students some values that are really important for human beings, as patience, perseverance, attention to detail, so that they actually get to know themselves better, so they can really focus on what they want to do.
So when can we announce it soon, or when can we expect
I hope soon.
Way.
I hope so, but we have to find really first we have to find the venue for the courses, but I hope it will be soon.
I'm very interested in, because I know that you have a very holistic approach to how you do things in your craft, in your life, and I know that what you're going to do here is also with this holistic perspective. So you were talking about the values, that it's not only giving them skills, but it's about, or not only craftsman skills, but it's more than that for you, that when they come out, they are more complete as human beings. And I know that the way you're going to teach it and the environment you're going to teach in is very important for you, and that you're really researching those aspects, and the conversations we have is so interesting, and it's so common to the topics that I find so important in education. So for me, it's important that actually to share with our audiences that these reflections are not only for children in primary school and preschool, that we should have these types of reflection at whatever level we explore. I mean, we every time we learn something new, every time we acquire new knowledge, environments should be conducive to the holistic development of the person.
Yes. I mean, a lot of things that are related to the environment are somehow related and rooted in the Montessori system, which I really appreciate. And I think that approach will be very helpful for us to form the environment for our courses, to give the students the ability to create their own space, to be free, to have this freedom of expression, but in the same time to have the boundaries in the terms of learning how to craft something, because first you have to get the skills to make something.
Of course. But you can't become creative if you don't have the skills. You're limited.
Yes.
You know, your imagination has no vector. So yes, I understand.
Yes.
So technology today is advancing really, really fast, and there's some exciting things happening in lots of different fields. You know, for some people, a lot of these inventions and these new technologies are going to impact us positively, and other people have scary stories about how it's, you know, taking away our humanity. And I'm sure there's, you know, both sides have good sides. But what I'm interested in is how do you see technology impacting your art and, you know, creative work positively? And are there any things you're afraid of? Are there things that you think anyhow will never be taken away from your creative work?
Well, I think the development of technology is inevitable. So, and also it could be a very powerful tool, an amazing tool. If it's used morally, then it could be really good for humanity. In the other hand, maybe it couldn't. Regarding our craft, I think it actually in some way helps our craft, because it will make craft even more wearable, lively, and people will start to notice much more the importance of craft. And also I see a possibility that some people will also find craft as a potential for healing as well, because it is something that human beings are created to work, to do something. So we always have this urge to make something, and craft is an amazing place where you can actually express yourself. So in that way, I'm absolutely not scared. I mean, I'm not scared of anything. And also, in the same time, technology is created by human beings. So it's human being that is on the top. On the other hand, technology is so much distracting us from being ourselves. And I think that we should do something about that to actually give ourselves a place and a space also and time to see who we really are.
Mm-hmm. What does that mean for you?
Yeah, to explore ourselves, who we are, to explore our consciousness. To explore the world that we are living. We are here to explore our culture, our past, because without our past, there is no future. So we have to find those connections. So it's kind of introspective finding these connections. It is something related to it could be seen as I'm looking into myself as aloneness, but it isn't. It's actually connecting with other souls, because we are not just the bodies, we are also souls that are connected. This is why I found craft and working on it or any kind of human work really important. And I think that human beings shouldn't stop working and give that to AI, no matter how AI could create art or do any other things. It isn't the real product. It's just the synthesis of all other information that are collected. Mm-hmm. But that's what's human, that is specific. It's like every one of us is carrying a whole cosmos within us. Mm-hmm. And how much of that do we really know?
You can only discover it bit by bit through this exploration.
Yes, yes. I mean, through a movement, constant movement. I believe in that. Mm-hmm. I really believe that you should wake up every day and start something. Start working, start making, start producing, because we are here to witness. And to witness, we have to work, we have to help others as well. So we need to be in that constant motion every day. And no technology could step in and do that instead of us. This is really our personal human being experience that we have to experience and witness as well.
I'm understanding from everything that you've said until now also that being incarnated on this planet and being, you know, materially here, physically here, is also related to what you're saying, because we impact the matter, we work with them. You're talking all the time about these hands-on experiences. Mm-hmm. And working with matter that can't be done in a, that is a soul exploration, a personal exploration that is unique to us and everything. And it's feels a bit like the definition of our relationship to our planet, as opposed to a machine, however sophisticated, would not have this, very biological connection to everything around and to matter and to experience on this planet.
Yes.
Does that
definitely
feel right? Yeah.
Yes, yes. We have the five senses. The sense of touch is related to skin. So skin is our biggest organ. So these percentages are telling something, you know. So you really have to use the relationship between the brain and the hand, which is very important, that we are telling our students, for example, to draw, to use their hands, to use the movement also. It's somehow related to dance when you're drawing. Some smaller things or bigger things, and you're doing the bigger movements. So everything is, as you said, holistic, the whole holistic approach that I mean, it's so interesting that I'm not sure why some people are refusing to
go that
way, to explore that way, because there is so much to see and to experience, and I think we are quite much distracted by all of the technologies, the news, the information that we are bombarded with. We are distracted from our inner self, and also from the connection with other people, from the honest connection. We feel that we are connected with so many people, but that's actually not the real connection. You know.
And I would add to that the connection to nature, because
yes,
we're very disconnected from nature, and it's where we come from. Our physical body comes from there.
Yes.
And we're disconnected. Yeah.
This is why, for example, I love Sarajevo. I love smaller cities. And also in Sarajevo, you are much more connected to nature than in other cities. You have a lot of mountains around, so you're able to explore, to be in a city, and in the same time to be outside.
And you can't avoid people.
Yeah.
You're part of a dynamic of people, and you have to build those connections.
Yeah.
In order to be able to survive, but in a nice way.
Yes.
I'd like to come back to also another aspect of your creative work with your husband. You're both from two different cultures. Your husband is from Iranian Azerbaijan. You met in Istanbul. You're from here, but you've also traveled quite a bit, and you've, I think, lived in other places, if I remember correctly.
Yes, in Poland.
In Poland, okay. So there's a huge cultural fusion there. I mean, how does that impact how does that nurture your work? How does it play out, and how does it impact your lives?
I was always fascinated by different cultures, different languages. I always had to learn different kind of languages to get to know different kind of culture, different people. And when I moved to Istanbul, I really met, because Istanbul has 20 million people living in the same place. I met really different kind of cultures there. And I think it's really blessing that we are both coming from two very rich cultures with rich traditions. I mean, I'm so much enjoying when Ibrahim is translating some verses from Hafiz to me, or when I'm telling him something about our Bosnian complicated history. So there's definitely a lot of things that we have to speak about in that way, and it's certainly affecting our jewelry and the stories that we want to share. For me, it's especially interesting how Iranian people are actually educated in the terms of literature. They're really appreciating their literature, their poets, and any kind of, if you have person of any kind of educational level, they will certainly know for their poets, for the stories and everything. It's an amazing, how to say, richness, let's say it like that.
Their culture is very alive, basically.
Yes,
yes, they're very connected to their.
And also since Sarajevo and Bosnia and also Tabriz, that was the part of the Silk Road. So some of these stories are also happen to be here in Bosnia. We can find it. There are so many similarities, and that's something that really fascinates me. Yet in the same time, regarding this, we're certainly taking a lot from that consciousness of both cultures. But also we want to create something that transcends the cultures or any kinds of these divisions, cultural, religious, or anything else, to make a jewelry that is really for human beings, no matter whether they're from Japan or Bosnia or anywhere else in the world. But it's a great privilege to be able to witness this kind of relationship.
Would you like to tell the story of one of the pieces I'm wearing?
Well, I can tell something. That is actually most of our jewelry, actually everything that we make speaks a story about life and about how we are in charge of our own destiny. So it isn't that we will decide what will happen tomorrow. It's not. It is our free will to decide how would we react on that's what's happening to us. So this is how we shape our reality, and that is what our jewelry is always speaking about. There are so many stories.
Well, take one just to show a little bit how, because there's a story that's connected to the different elements and the symbolism.
Yes.
And
yes.
So
many of our pieces have, for example, 2 dots or 2 like circles, and they represent 2 portals. The one is the portal where you come to this world. The other is the portal from where you go from this world. Okay. Many of the symbols from our jewelry are related to this topic of body and soul, and speaking a story about that the body isn't anything without the soul inside. So generally there are many different kind of stories that we want to incorporate in our jewelry. But there is always this human approach that we want to emphasize.
Okay. There's always a human story. Basically.
Yes, yes.
Have you encountered any, because you're an entrepreneur also, so you're a designer, but there's a business side to what you do also, and you're an entrepreneur. Has it been challenging to set up a business? Do you want to, do you want to share, would you have any advice to give to any young entrepreneur who's starting up and who is starting his journey?
Well, before I met Ibrahim, it was really hard for me to accept challenges. But then we together slowly realized that actually challenges are the potential for growth. So first of all, fell in love with challenges. So that's the advice.
Fall in love with challenges. I love that. Fall in love with challenges. Okay.
So because there will always be a challenge somehow, but the challenge is always an opportunity to learn something. And whenever we had a difficult situation, whether it could be socially related or business related, any kind of it, find the best way to overcome it, to be a good human being to others, if it's related to human beings, and to learn something from that. So right now I really appreciate when I have something challenging. It makes me feel even sometimes happy because I can notice, okay, the challenge is coming.
And I'm going to learn something.
I'm going to learn something. I'm happy that I can witness it, because when I'm looking at it as in a position of someone who is witnessing it, I'm not taking it personally. So I'm like someone who is watching from the above. And that is some process that is happening. So let's see how to.
So you're able to take a distance and observe yourself in your processes.
Yes. And also regarding the business, once I heard an advice, which is actually really good advice, don't mix emotions into a business. Actually, our business is very emotional, so we can't not mixing emotions in it. But this strictly business part shouldn't be really emotional. It's business like that. But as I said, challenges are the thing that are making business so exciting. And also, I'm really grateful and to myself and also to my family for choosing this type of this path in life, because I think it's really it embodies what freedom is. So I really feel as a free person. It comes with a price, but it's I feel alive and I feel as a human who is exploring the world in the best possible way.
Wow, that's beautiful. Lucky you. That's a beautiful message for others. Well, this brings me to the... I hear a lot these days that we're at a crossroad, you know, that there's a huge amount of change happening fast that we can't even probably imagine. We can't imagine the magnitude of it. That it's a big turning point in history for humanity. I believe it might be true to some extent. I'm wondering if there's been many other moments like that in history, you know, where we've had these big turning points, and so it's not something new for humanity. So my question to you is, in the midst of this change that we can't completely fathom, but that is happening, what would be your advice to young people coming into the world, you know, now, and what would you say to them? Because we can't really prepare them, you know, for the world that's coming, or can we, maybe in a different way?
I mean, I think that the world was always changing, so it's something that is constant. Maybe we have this technology that keeps us informed about some changes that are happening. But I believe that the world was always a place of movement, of different kind of, maybe even more interesting changes. That's this one that is happening right now in the history. We are witnessing this change right now. And I believe that someone who is young, maybe I'm thinking about my children right now. So something that I'm teaching them is to be connected to Earth, to be connected with their family, with their friends, to be outside, to enjoy, to learn, to get to know themselves as much as possible. Also, we are teaching them to not to be scared of the world, because there's literally nothing that one should be scared in this world. Everything is there for us to experience, and every experience could be a beautiful experience as well, because there is always the good side and the bad and bad side. So there is no black and white. You really have to, when you have some experience and then few years later you realized that bad experience was actually perfect. If it didn't happen, then I wouldn't be here
where I am today.
So
it's trusting also.
Yes.
It's trusting what happens and your path as it presents itself.
Yes. And also to be themselves, to explore themselves, and to nurture those positive values.
You were talking about honesty beforehand, the honest relationship you have with your customers, which you don't want to call customers. Yeah. One of my previous guests said that the most important thing that she wants young people to understand is that being authentic is more important than anything else. And everything that you've said makes me think of that, what you're saying now, exploring yourselves, being connected to your family, to your environment, being who you are. Would you be comfortable with saying that it's being authentic?
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. I mean, there is such a huge potential within us. So we have to find a way to unlock it. I see a lot of people who are scared to be themselves, whether it's a social pressure or pressure from family. I have some friends in my life who are doing some jobs that are maybe not the most popular jobs. But I have learned so much from them, from their perspective, from how they work it. And that has taught me so much, their approach and how they feel. What is actually making them authentic. So it also helped me to find who I am and what I am. And I think that this is also the most important thing for young people, to teach them to be free, because they are really free. So they are not, they shouldn't feel that something is not allowing them to be their self. And there is nothing in this way, except the thing that you have to be, I believe you have to be a good person. I think that's also very important, to know what is good, what is bad. That's something that we have to learn. But after that, there's just exploring yourself. And it's, I think it's a journey that is really never ending.
Never ending. So thank you very much, Ena, for joining us for this episode of Beyond School. I really, really am grateful for you to sharing so authentically your experience, your journey, your thoughts. And I'm very honored to have had you on this podcast.
Thank you so much for inviting me. It was really a pleasure to speak with you.
And we'll do it again.